first session, I was like, I'm really excited about this, and thought, oh, it'd be lovely to just sit in here for 35 minutes or whatever it was, and just chill out. But then I did start getting a bit bored, and I did think, oh my God, I'm turning into Rose here, that I can't switch off.
Welcome to the Wellness Breakdown. I'm Rose Ferguson.
And I'm Eve Kalinik, and we are super excited that we are now YouTubing our podcast, which means that not only can you listen to it on an audio format, but you can also watch us on video. The podcast basically works with Rose and I setting challenges for each other based on specific wellness trends and fads that we know a lot of you guys are interested in, and that's kind of how the podcast came about, right?
If you have anything that you would like us to look into or investigate further, any new fads or crazy stuff you're trying, then let us know, because we love to hear from you.
And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Wellness Breakdown, and I can say we're getting loads of lovely feedback around the podcast, and thanks to everyone who has messaged in. Please do keep them coming in, and do share the podcast with your friends and your family.
Yeah, like I said before, I always listen to podcasts by recommendation. I do think it's the best way to find new podcasts.
100%, because there are a lot of podcasts out there, so we do really appreciate you recommending our one.
Okay, so without further ado, it's you in the hot seat this week, Eve. And when I say hot seat, I actually mean it.
Yes, Rose set me this challenge a few weeks back, so have a listen as to how I got on with it.
So, are you ready for your final challenge, Eve?
I am, yes, I'm raring to go, literally. So I'm hoping you're not going to give me something too, outlandish for the last episode of the series.
Do you know what? This is such a nice one. It's okay. There's no UPFs. There's no liver flushes this time. So you're going to be all right. I think you're actually going to like it. I'd like it.
All right. Well, let's not beat around the bush and tell me what you've got lined up.
Okay, well, this one I think will benefit you in a few different ways. It's actually something that we've spoken about before, but you've never done it, which is surprising, actually, because it's something that I thought you would have tried. So the challenge is infrared saunas. And that's it.
Oh,
okay.
I
know. Nice, right?
I mean, I'm a bit of a lizard, so I don't like cold stuff. I thought you were going to give me something like that, because I know you're into all of that. So this actually I'm quite excited about. So go for it. Tell me what I need to do.
Okay. So infrared saunas, as you know, you will know this. That's what I mean. It's something that's definitely within your world. Have gained popularity in recent years, and for their potential benefits, improving health and wellness mentally and physically. So unlike traditional saunas, which we all know, and are very, very hot when you get in them because they heat the air to warm your body, whereas infrared saunas use light to penetrate deep into the body and really are beneficial for things like circulation, pain, joint pain, relaxation. Very good for detoxification because they go deeper into the body, into the cells. There's some support for these claims. But there's still a lot to learn about them. But they are very, very popular. And apart from anything, it means you sit down on your bum for a little bit and hopefully switch off. So when I was thinking about what would be a good challenge for you, or why I thought this would be a good challenge for you, more to the point, really. I don't sit down trying to think of awful things to do to you very often. But this I thought would be good for you, because it would be good, A, for you to explore the benefits because you've never done it. So it'd be good for you, for your patients and clients and stuff, and to support your physical and mental well-being. You also mentioned that you suffer with cold extremities. So I'd be really interested to see if this does help those little cold hands and feet of yours, help circulation. That would be something that's particular to you. And yeah, I'd really like just you to try them and see just generally if you feel more relaxed, more refreshed. I'd like you to do 2 a week for 2 weeks for 30 minutes. So just you can really relax for 30 minutes twice a week. And then I'd love you to evaluate after each session how you feel. It would also be really good to know an accumulative effect, because I think probably after 4 over 2 weeks, you might sort of start to get into it and feel more substantial improvements, even if they're quite subtle. So how do you feel about that one, young lady?
Well, I'm actually really excited to try it because it is something that I've thought about a lot, and it has been getting a lot more press recently. I feel, I don't know, it sort of started about, say, 8 years ago, but I feel like people are even kind of getting those home blanket type things and all of that. But it isn't something that I've done regularly. Way back when I did used to use saunas, because I do understand that actually, like you said, there's not a huge amount of data and research around this. Well, there is a little bit in terms of cardiovascular health, and I know that that heat is supposed to kind of like mimic the cardiovascular, like the effects from cardiovascular exercise, for instance. And being somebody that just hates running and any cardiovascular, I'm like, yep, that's good for me too. I'd rather sit in a sauna. But I haven't really used them, and I the reason why I think is probably because it's more like the faff of like having to kind of, you know, take stuff and all of that. So that's kind of, it's really boring to say that that's the reason why I don't really use like saunas. But I do know that infrared is different because it's not, like you said, heating the air, it's heating the body, which is a more kind of like, I guess, a gradual way of raising the internal temperature. But then you do stay in there for longer. I mean, that's the kind of premise of it, isn't it? That you do stay in there longer than you probably would do if you were in like a sauna. So I do suffer from, I say my hands and feet do get cold quite often. Actually, it's just, I think it's because I have low blood pressure. So I would like to see that maybe improve from it.
God, how low is your blood pressure before you step into a really hot area? I don't want you fainting.
Well, that's the thing. That's the only concern that I do have, because when I have done saunas in the past, I would definitely have to hydrate quite a lot and be careful not to stand up quickly because I would get dizzy. Because it is, the whole thing is actually the positive cardiovascular benefits are lowering your blood pressure. So if you already have low blood pressure, you just got to be a bit careful of that. Yeah. But
that's a good thing for people to hear, just to be sensible about these things. I mean, you know, it's quite gentle infrared compared to a sauna. And it's quite relaxing, but obviously if there is a reason that you shouldn't do it, don't. That's what I'd say.
I am excited. And generally, you know, this is a gentle way to kind of like, you know, never mind like quite harsh like detox, and I'm saying that in inverted comma, diets. This is a kind of more natural form of that. And these like saunas have been around for like I said, thousands of years. They called them sweat houses, didn't they? So I wonder if I do feel like actually, you know, I notice like, say things like hormonal changes or any kind of like, you know, detox type symptoms that might seem like they're improving. So yeah, I'm really interested. I can't wait actually.
Good. Well, I'm really looking forward to hearing how you get on, because it's a very nice thing anyway, just to do. And as you say, they're more available now. And I think that probably is why the timing for this challenge is quite good, because they are becoming more common and people have more access to them. So good luck. I'm looking forward to seeing if there are any results. And I look forward to hearing how you get on.
So I'm doing my first treatment of the infrared sauna challenge, and really to sort of describe it, it's like a wooden box, and so it's not like a regular sauna because you have the kind of heaters inside that are the infrared. But yeah, I'm just about to go in and I will let you know how I get on afterwards. So I've just finished my first infrared sauna session, and it was very different to a regular sauna. I mean, you are heating the body and as opposed to the air, but yeah, I was definitely sweating a lot, and it felt really nice to be like heating the body in that way, in that kind of slow progressive way. So I am looking forward to doing another few sessions. So I've just finished my third infrared session, and I do feel like I'm kind of getting into the flow with this now, and I'm not feeling quite as restless as I did before. And I just got kind of a bit bored being in there for like 35 minutes initially. And then I did think about, oh my God, am I turning into Rose? So anyway, I will talk about that with her in the episode debrief, but I'm really enjoying the session so far, and I can definitely feel like my circulation has improved slightly. So that's good. So I finished all 4 of my infrared sessions, and how am I feeling? Well, I would definitely continue with it, and I will go back and I will do more sessions, maybe not twice a week just because it's a bit of a pain getting there. I mean, it'd be lovely if I could have an infrared at home. But I have seen improvements in my circulation and I would say my skin. So thanks for this one, Rose. It's been a really nice one to end on. We're very happy that Ancient and Brave is back as our season sponsor. They have an incredible range of collagen supplements, MCT oil, and nootropic blends. As well as nourishing your skin, hair, and nails, collagen has been associated with whole body health benefits, which may include supporting joints and muscles to gut health.
Eve and I are both fans of supplementing collagen, but not all collagen is created equal. Ancient and Brave's is beautifully pure, highly absorbable, and clinically researched. Also, very easy to take as part of your everyday ritual, as it's also odourless and tasteless. Perfect added to your morning coffee or daily cacao.
Consistency is key when taking supplements, and to get you started, Ancient and Brave is offering 20% off your first 3 orders when you subscribe with the code WELLNESS20.
Ancient and Brave are passionate about sustainability. They are a B Corp and a member of the powerful global initiative 1% for the planet. So 1% of all sales go towards environmental causes that protect the planet. So buying their products means you're supporting the planet too. Oh, how was it, Eve?
Do you know what? I really, really enjoyed it. I have to say, like, I got in the first session, I was like, I'm really excited about this, and thought, oh, it'd be lovely to just sit in here for 35 minutes or whatever it was and just chill out. But then I did start getting a bit bored, and I did think, oh my God, I'm turning into Rose here. I can't switch off. And it was a bit weird to start with. I was going, I'm just not really for the first 10, 15 minutes, nothing was really, I mean, I felt warm, but not kind of hot at all, because the temperature gradually goes up. So, and then suddenly it was my body just went and started really sweating. So it was kind of it was different to a sauna, you know?
Yeah.
So there's definitely sort of that gradual thing going on. But then I sort of said, to myself, try to use this opportunity to do something like meditation and things like that. They did have, to be honest, they had some of that, the kind of spa music playing. And I was a bit if it had more interesting music or something like that, that would have been kind of better in a way. I did notice that my hands and feet were much better, that my circulation was much better, but I did have to be really careful about standing up, because I did notice that my blood pressure was dropped, which is what we talked about when you set the session. So I just made sure that I drank lots of water and things like that, and had some electrolytes after kind of coming out of it, because I just think for me that was really important. And I did notice, I generally did notice, even though I did 4 sessions, I could feel a change in my skin. I don't know, it just felt a bit clearer. So I think that was probably a positive sign of the detoxification benefits to it.
The boredom that you mentioned, I'm so proud. The boredom that you mentioned.
Yeah, look, now you're negatively influencing me with your, inability to switch off, Rose.
I'm surprised that you felt bored. Did doing meditation, was it, because that actually sounds like a really lovely thing to do in an infrared sauna, is to go in with the idea that you're just going to sit there and meditate, or just try and take deep breaths, or whatever it is, as close to meditation as you can get. Did you find that really nice? Was that a good thing to do?
Yeah, and look, it's really important for all of us to just have some level of solitude where you're not doing or thinking or any of that stuff. But I just think after about sort of 20 minutes, I was kind of a bit okay. But no, I did go in there and I did do some meditation. And to be honest with you, I think if it had been a bit more comfortable, I think there was that as well. But, I think the more sessions that I did, the more I realised actually it's just about kind of being in the kind of moment of it all. And so I think after the first session, I kind of got into the flow of it better.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that is a positive actually, because it does mean you're doing nothing for half an hour. And maybe that is actually what we need to be doing more often, as just not you and me, everybody. So maybe that's an added bonus. But I wonder if that would curtail you doing it more regularly. Because as you said before, when you go to the gym, you don't use the sauna because it's too much of a faff. And I think there's something about saunas, infrared or normal, that feel like they've got that spa tag. So it feels a bit like, oh, I'm going to the spa. Whereas actually taking half an hour out and doing some heat therapy is really good for us. But I suppose it doesn't fit in with our racy lives, does it? That's part of the problem.
True, but then, I'd probably say so it would be really good to do that after, say, an exercise class or whatever, because it's, there is some level of neuromuscular recovery that happens in that heat. So it probably, actually, that would be the optimum time to do it. So I actually did it after an acupuncture session. So I felt super chill coming out after I'd done acupuncture, and then that. There are benefits associated to it that we've talked about, but, it's also, there's not many barriers to it either. I mean, you've got to be careful if you've got low blood pressure, but for a lot of, with the studies around saunas, I'm not sure about specifically infrared, but I'm just sort of thinking it'd probably be quite similar, is the potential cardiovascular benefits that have been really studied, and the neuromuscular ones.
It's really anti-inflammatory, and it is meant to be very good for the cellular detoxification process.
Okay.
Would you say, I know you said you'll do it again, but would you say that was an enjoyable challenge?
Yeah, definitely. If I had one in my house, I would definitely, maybe that's the next thing. Oh, get yourself an infrared sauna. No, I'm joking. But if I had it in my house, I'd definitely probably do it most days. I think it's just I know it's so ridiculous to be like, I have to take a change of clothes and and have a shower and all of that stuff. So that's the bit that actually is the faff. It's not actually the actual doing it, it's all the stuff that's around it. But I do think, look, I would continue with it because I did feel better for doing it, and I'd like to just see, because obviously 4 sessions, what are you really going to expect? If you're talking about better recovery from exercise, or prolonged noticeable improvements in your general detoxification, I'd say you probably got to do that for a bit longer. So I would like to do it for longer. And also, like I said, I am a bit of a lizard, so in the winter I can't think of anything better than sitting somewhere that's super warm.
Well, thank you for taking on the challenge and doing it so efficiently and well.
I mean, I had to sit in a box, not like when I got you jumping up and down in the rain outside. I mean, I did feel for you actually when I was sat in there thinking, well, there's from one extreme to the other, me sitting in a lovely spa having a nice infrared sauna, and you getting outside in the pissing rain and jumping up and down on a trampoline covered with dew and a bit of I don't know, dust or whatever. So
I think the UPF's took the biscuit this year, this season. So I feel like that maybe.
Oh, that's true. That is true. So I was owed a nice one.
You were owed a nice one.
Anyway, we do have a couple of emails, and remember, guys, you can message the show on info@thewellnessbreakdown.co.uk. So this one is from a lovely lady called Karen, and she's saying, "Hello ladies, I was so glad to hear your podcast on calorie counting. I stumbled upon it and it totally made sense to me, especially the rebounding part. Oh, okay. I always counted as a teenager and I was miserable, even more miserable than a normal teenager. My mum did it. Like you said, it was a generational thing." Oh, she means rebounding in terms of going back to it. I thought she meant rebounding as in jumping on the trampoline. Then I just got confused. No, rebounding with the calories deficit, and then kind of going from that binge purge cycle.
Yo-yo.
So no, totally the yo-yoing. Yeah, no, I mean that's quite stereotypical, isn't it, from a lot of these kind of diets, particularly the calorie counting. So not surprised.
Hi, Rosa and Eve. I'm still laughing at Rose bouncing up and down on her trampoline. Thank you. There is nothing more fun than acting like a child. You're right. Play is so important. I mean, that really is true. It really did set a little light in my head on, put a little light in my head on that probably switched off about play. And I think especially times are difficult for a lot of people. Post-COVID is really difficult, and actually having a laugh and being childish was really fun, and it felt important to me. So, Well, on that happy, bouncy note, that's it. We're done. Thank you for listening and taking time to get in contact with us. Please keep them coming.
Yes, it's great to hear what you're up to. And as always, if you're looking for any advice, we are here to help. Remember, you can also message us on our Instagram channels.
I am really looking forward to the next episode. For this one, I've managed to drag another of my friends in to take part. The wonderful Sadie Frost will join us next week.
She was great, and you definitely don't want to miss this one. And the challenge we set her will definitely be relevant to pretty much everybody listening. So if you suffer with bad sleep or disrupted sleep, or you just want better sleep, this is definitely one for you.
So please subscribe to our channel. That way you'll know when we post. And remember, you can listen back to 3 more series on audio wherever you get your podcast from.
Yes, until then, have a lovely week, everyone.
Bye.